I would prefer to meet Inter Milan instead of Bayern Munich in this UCL semi-finals. I have my reasons, and I know a lot of you are going to disagree on this based on your personal reasons. But wait to hear my own reason. We have met Bayern Munich this season quite alright, and we won them 4-1. But if you can calmly remember what happened in that game, if you can really, vividly remember everything that happened in that game, and you're able to tell yourself the truth, you will be able to realize that the domination we've been having against other teams like Real Madrid, ATM, Benfica, BVB, and the rest was not the same domination we exhibited in that game. It was a game where Bayern Munich had 60% of the possession. They had 60% of the possession. So what it means is that we really did not dominate in the middle. What happened was that the little that we dominated, we were able to launch attacks with them. But when it comes to that middle, Bayern Munich actually had a better possession game than Barcelona. And the 4-1 winning can be attributed to our midfield partial dominance. And then the glorious performance by Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal standing up to the occasion, delivering world-class chances to Rafinha, and then Rafinha getting his finishing right. You could see that it was almost a Rafinha affair. Rafinha scored a hat-trick. And the goals scored by Rafinha were very much wonderful goals. Goals that he actually, put in effort to score. Those goals were not put on a plate for him. The only goal that I think that was on a plate was the goal scored by Lewandowski. And you could see what happened. Lopez had to give that player a little nudge to get that space and then deliver it to Lewandowski for Lewandowski to finish it off. But the goals scored by Rafinha were actually wonderful goals, world-class goals that Rafinha had to put a lot of energy to make sure those goals were at the back of the net. If you look at the first goal, Rafinha had to make sure, yes, he was through on goal, he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but he made sure he dribbled that goalkeeper and put that ball at the back of the net. The second goal, you could see how he scored with his right foot through the legs of, was that Upamecano? That was actually a difficult goal. And then the third goal, Lamine Yamal delivered a wonderful chance to Rafinha. He had two markers on him, and he was able to run towards the goalpost. He didn't even wait until he got to the goalpost because those markers were ready to bring him down, and he scored from that distance. So you could see that we really did not have an easy game against Bayern Munich. It was against a team that almost have a similar pattern like ours, and they dominated in terms of possession. So it is going to be a difficult game against Bayern Munich. So imagine Rafinha's finishings were not right. It would have been a 1-1 draw or a 2-1 draw in our home. So a team that could grab the possession against us, what is going to happen in their home? What is going to happen in their home? But against Inter Milan, we are going to get the ATM vibe. Yes, they are equally going to be a strong side, a solid side, because any team that can defend against Barcelona can equally frustrate Barcelona. But we play better. Like, it is actually a comfortable game when we are dominating. When the only option the team has is counter. So if they don't see any counter, it means that either the game ends in a draw or somehow we squeeze in a goal. So I would prefer Inter Milan based on the fact that surely it is a game that we are going to dominate. Even before we march into that game, it is a game we are going to dominate, and we are only going to be worried about their counter attacks, of which our offside line is also there to keep them in check. And if we can keep the ball, control the game better, and create massive chances, we stand a better chance to advance to the finals against Inter Milan than against Bayern Munich. For the fact that it's a two-legged tie, we are going to get the ATM vibe against Inter Milan quite alright. It's going to be a frustrating game, but the two teams are really going to give us tough time. But I would prefer Inter Milan based on the fact that surely it is going to be our game to dominate and then try to create chances. But against Bayern Munich, it is going to be a 50-50 game. They dominate, we dominate. Then it boils down to who converts more. So what happens if we don't get our conversion right? That is my reason for choosing Inter Milan over Bayern Munich. And I just hope Inter Milan can just, draw this match against Bayern Munich or try to win with a 1-goal margin and advance to the semi-finals. Thank you.